Yes, sir. Somebody was calling me.
Sir, I opened the remote desktop
Hmm.
and I tried using the username, sir, but
Okay.
it's giving some error.
Okay. Sir, what we can do now, Shashank will be taking a session. After that, afternoon, we are dedicated doubt query session is there. Okay. So we can take queries that time. Otherwise, I'll be taking his time, right? So, Shashank, are you there?
Sir, is this session linked to next coming up
Yes.
session, sir?
Sir,
Yeah.
we'll start with a new topic now, with a new practical. And if you have any doubts related to virtual machine and any other thing, we'll take it in the end. So it will be a completely new topic that we are going to start.
That's fine, sir. That's fine. No problem, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So a very good morning to all. I welcome you all again in this FTP, and we will be starting with a new topic now. And we all have seen in the last yesterday and in the last two hours that how we had worked on different applications of Azure cloud platform related to virtual machines. We had created Windows virtual machines. We had created a Linux virtual machine with the help of remote desktop protocol and with the help of a software named as PuTTY respectively. Right. So I have seen in the database that around um, 800 resources are there. So I am happy that uh, all the faculty members are doing simultaneously with us with all the hands-on practical that we are replicating, and you all are doing it with simultaneous with us. It's a very good thing that with so many participants joined in here, around 500 participants are still in the meeting, and we all are doing with these things. So we'll start with a new topic now, and what we will be doing, we will be working on with the database, right? We will be working on the database. We have seen how to create a virtual machine. Now we'll start with a new practical database. And we all know that I'll take some query, some theory regarding SQL database with 2 to 3 minutes theory. Then we'll start directly with the practicals. So we all know that in this modern business world where we all are encountered with large amount of data nowadays, right? And it was a report that I read in 2023 that around 1.3 trillion byte of data is being generated in a second. Right, that was the report that I saw in 2023 that we people are mostly generating the data in the form of multiple fields, right? Be it any industry, be it a pharmaceutical field, business, education, sports, and there are many other industries that are generating the data nowadays, right? And to boost the profitability and solving the problems in real life, these companies have made strategic decisions with the help of a data set. And for a better data management and analytics, we have now we are now using SQL for analyzing our data, for storing our data, for managing our data, right? So if I talk about what SQL is, I know you all are from computer science background, and we all have been working on SQL in our engineering life, right? We all have studied SQL database. We all are teaching SQL database. If I talk
Yes.
about SQL database, so SQL database, or sometimes it is known as a relational database as well. It's a collection of highly structured table. We store the data in the form of table, where you can see the data is being stored in the form of rows and columns, right? And if I talk about what each row identifies, so each row reflects about a data entity, and every column reflects about a specific information field. So that is how we store the data in the form of SQL in the form of table, and particularly in rows and columns. So if I talk about the structured query language that can be used to create, store, update, and retrieving the data, right? Retrieving the data. So we will be studying in this particular practical that how do we create a SQL database on Azure cloud platform, and how do we connect it with the local software stored in our system? Right. Suppose I am running an organization. I am running an organization and I am in Delhi right now, right? And one of my employees or one of my colleague is in Bangalore right now. I want to transfer some data with him, right, regarding an organization. So what I'll be using, I am using an Azure cloud. I am uploading the data on the Azure platform, and simultaneously at the runtime, the data is being reflected to the people sitting in the Bangalore. Right. So this is how we are making the connection with the database that we have created on the Azure portal and the database that we have stored in a local system. So how do we make a connection? Right.
Shashank, sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen?
No, I am not sharing the screen. I just
Yeah,
share in 2 minutes. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, just
thank you.
4 minutes third part. No screen is being shared, ma'am. I am just share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to you now. So we'll directly switching on to the practical. How do we create a SQL database? See, the whole practical has been divided into 3, 4 steps. I would go very slowly, right? So that you can all do the thing simultaneously, parallelly with me, right? And if you have any doubt in between, please stop me and I'll take your query. And major chunk of the theory will be or query will be taken up in the end, right? So if I talk about this particular practical has been divided into 3, 4 steps. First step is creating an SQL database on the Azure platform. This will be the first task, right? Second task would be we would be updating or we would be storing some data on this SQL database on Azure portal. Third thing is we will make use of one of the software which is known as SQL Server Management Studio. Fourth step is we will make a connection between this SQL database on Azure platform and SQL Server Management Studio. Fifth thing is we will be transferring the data from one location to another location. So this is how this particular practical is divided into 5 steps, right? So our first step is we need to make utilization of this Azure platform and to create a SQL database. To create a SQL database on this Azure platform, what I would want you to do is you have a search bar here, right? Where you can get anything, whatever the services you want to avail from this Azure platform, you can avail any service, right? And one of the service that I want to avail now is SQL database because I need to create a database here. So what I need to do, go to this search bar and search right SQL database, right? SQL database, right? So if you have written this SQL database, you will get this SQL database, a container like the icon of this SQL database is a container like structure, this thing, right? And here you can see there are no SQL databases to display because currently we do not have any database that we have created on this Azure portal. We would be start creating the SQL database, right? Now we need to create the SQL database, and to create this SQL database, we have two options here on this screen. First step is or first option is we can create a database from here, create SQL database, or there is another tab here, create. So we can create on any of the option to get our data started, right? Database started. So if we click on this create button will take us to some basic details about the database that we need to create, right? We need to provide some database. Remember when you had created a virtual machine regarding the Windows or Ubuntu, you provided some basic details to the virtual machine. What would be the name, right? What would be the admin username? What would be the password? So the same kind of detail we would be providing here to our database. So starting from the detail, you need to give subscription details. So you all know that we are working in one subscription and the name of the subscription is pay as you go, right? The name of the subscription is pay as you go and you will get it by default. Then within the subscription, there is a resource group and we all are aware which resource group we are using? Can anyone tell me which resource group we are using?
FBP 11.
FDP underscore 10.
FDP underscore 10. I request all the participants to please use this resource group only and do not create any other resource group. Now, coming on to the database details. I hope all of you have done till here. I'll go very slowly, right, so that you all can do parallelly with me. Now we need to provide some database details to the database. Database name. What would be the name of my database? Right, what would be the name of my database? So the name of my database, you can give any name of your choice, but I would recommend the name should be your name with database, like this. Your name, database. My name is Shashank. I have given the name database as Shashank database. So if your name is Sachin, you can give Sachin database, right? Now this is a major part of this particular practical, that we are creating this database, and this database needs to be stored at some server. So we all know that there are some servers located globally. There is some server in India, there is some server in South India, there is one server in Central India as well. There is one server in Bangalore, there is one server in Hyderabad. So similarly, across the globe, there are some servers located. And now I need to make sure that this particular database will be created on which server, right? So I need to give the server name as well. So here, if you drop down it, you will get there are no items available because currently there is no server location given. I need to create a server. So if you want to create a server, you need to click on create new. Click on create new and give the server name, that where your database would be residing. Your database would be residing on this server, Shashank server. This, please make sure that all the things are ticked with green color. I am getting one this cross option. I can change the name. So I'm giving Shashank server 123. I guess it will be taken. Yes, Shashank server 123.
So
And you
can we
need to
use
give
our
the,
own names?
yes, sure, ma'am. You can give your own name as well, but make sure that all the things here are green tick.
Okay, green.
It should not be cross marked with red color. Now give the location, that where your server would be located. Now I would recommend all of you to please select different locations. Some of you can select South Central, some of you can select Europe, some of you can select Australia, some of you can select South India, Central India. There are multiple options available. Please choose different reasons. Do not choose any option, because see what happens if you all choose US East. Suppose we are 500 now in this particular meeting, and we all 500 choose US East. So what generally happens, on each location there are some limited resources available, right? Suppose 50 resources are available on one location. So the first 50 users will get those 50 resources, and 51st user will not be getting it. So that is why I've asked you to use different locations, so that each of you can access the resources available on those locations, right? Now scroll down and you will get this authentication method. So this authentication method is very much same, pretty much same, that we have used in the virtual machine, that whenever you are entering into your database, what would be the authentication method, right? So there are three options that you will be getting is Microsoft Entra only, SQL and Entra, and SQL. So what we will be using, we'll use is SQL authentication. This will be a kind of username and password that will protect your database to be accessed by anyone. Only you can access it. So here you can give admin login. Here you can give password, and you can
Pardon,
confirm
sir.
your password as well.
So what is Entra authentication?
Entra authentication is a type of authentication that generally preferred by Microsoft people.
Okay.
Yes. Only we must stick to SQL authentication. It is generally more convenient for the people like for us who are not very regular using the Azure platform. I hope my screen is visible to you because see, I can get messages that your screen is not visible.
No, sir,
It
it
is
is
visible,
visible.
Shashank.
It is visible, very clear.
So now we need to give our admin login and we need to give the password. So you can give your admin login as per your choice. So suppose I am giving some username. I am giving one password. That password must be a combination of small letter, capital letters,
Hello,
special characters, and numbers. Yes, ma'am.
sir. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Please.
Sir, can I use any location on the top right?
Ma'am, you can use any location. East US,
Okay,
South
okay, sir.
Central, West, Australia, East, North Europe, Sweden, Central, UK, South.
Yeah.
There are some
Okay, sir.
locations in India as well. You can use those locations as well.
Okay, sir.
So we have identified the authentication method as well. Use SQL authentication. We have provided the admin login. We have provided the password and click on OK. So when we have clicked on OK, you can see your server is created where your database would be residing, right? Now there is an option of want to use SQL Elastic Pool. So we keep it as no. This SQL Elastic Pool is being provided to you as a cost-effective solution, right? That helps you to manage and scale your database with varying demands, right? If I take it yes, it will be a elastic SQL database that we will be using that can get increased, that can get decreased basis upon the demand. But for now, we are only using these or we are only creating this database for a practice purpose. We don't want this SQL to be created on the elastic one, right? So we will keep it as no. The next thing is workload environment. So workload environment would be production because we are not developing anything. We are not deploying anything. We are just doing the practical for our hands-on practice, right? So if we are not developing anything, we will keep it as a production mode. Otherwise, we need to switch to a development mode, right? Now, if you scroll down, you will get this compute plus storage. Now it will ask you that the database that you want to create, what would be the memory of that database? Right, what would be the storage of that database? So if you click on this configure database, you can see the database that we are currently using. This is the database or this is the hardware configuration that we are currently using. It is standard series Gen 5 128 virtual cores with 625 GB memory, right? We are using 32 GB of memory, right? And the virtual cores that are provided to are 2. And see the cost as well. The cost of using this database is 32,000 rupees, right? The cost of this database is 32,000 rupees. But we don't want to choose this 32,000 rupees, right? We need to manage our cost. We need to optimize our cost. But it will be very it will not be good for us to use this service with 32,000 rupees. And you can see the compute type here or service type here, right? In service type, you can see here are three models given to you: general purpose, hyperscale, business criteria. So it depends upon the type of requirement. It depends upon your requirement that what type of database you want to create. We do not have very much data to store to look after. We do not have any data to analyze. We are just doing this for practical purpose, right? So we will keep it on general purpose, which is most budget friendly. And for compute tier, there are two options given to you. First is provisioned and the second one is serverless, right? So provision, what is provisioned? This provision provides you a specific amount of compute resource which is independent of workload activity, right? Which is independent of workload activity. If you want your database to be created on a larger scale, if you want your database to be created with a larger storage amount, then we can go with provisioned. But if you think that your database will be less at some time, your database will be high at some time. So we can use this serverless. It will depend upon the data that is coming into your database. It will automatically resize itself, right? So we will use the serverless, and as soon as you click on the serverless, you can see the cost. The cost is now reduced to 0.01 rupees. So last time, in the previous steps, we had a cost of 32,000 rupees. And now the estimated cost per month of using this database is only 450 rupees. So I would recommend, I would request all the faculty members to please click on this serverless, because if you click on provision, it will take on a cost. It will not be a cost effective solution. We are just doing for practical purpose. We do not have any data to store. We do not have any data to look after. Please click on the serverless, all the faculty members. This cost must be changed from 1,000 into these hundreds, right? So I request all the participants to please click on the serverless. Once you click on the serverless, no need to change on anything. No need to change on anything. Click on apply, right? Once you have applied, you can see it will be a one vCore processor that you will be using, database that you will be using. And now the next option is backup storage redundancy. So here backup storage redundancy, you will see three options: locally redundant, zone redundant, and geo redundant. Locally redundant means your backup of the database will be on your system only, on your server, right? The server that you have chosen. Zone redundant means the backup of your database will be on multiple zones that you will be selecting. And geo redundant means you will be having your backup ready on all the servers, on all the locations, right? So it will be locally redundant, geo redundant, and zone redundant. We don't our database to be reflected on multiple locations. We will select locally redundant. That will work for us, right? So click on locally redundant backup storage. So all the things are now set on this basics page. We have given the database, we have curated a server, we have aligned the compute and storage as well, serverless, and we have clicked on backup storage redundancy as well. Now we have a next tab, networking. Click on this networking. Click on this networking. Now see, I want to make a connection of this database with a local, with the software which is present in my local machine. I have created a database on this Azure portal. I have already mentioned in the beginning that the particular practical will be divided into 5 steps, and we have a local software installed in my system. I will make a connection. So to make a connection of this database, we need to have a public access of this database, right? So that I can access it. So to provide this public access, we need to provide this public endpoint. Select on this public endpoint. And as soon as you click on this public endpoint, there are some firewall rules attached to it. So it will say allow Azure service and resources to access this service, access this server. So now we are making a choice, right? We are making a choice that we want to avail the services, we want to make a connection, um, or we want to avail the services from this server with a local machine. We need to make a
Pardon,
connection.
sir. Sir, why
Yes,
did
ma'am.
we choose public endpoint connectivity method?
Public endpoint, ma'am, we have selected because we want to make a connection with a local software with the help with this database. So it can be
What if
easily
we make
accessible.
it
It
private?
what,
Means
ma'am?
what difference will it make with the private and no access endpoint?
Ma'am, public endpoint will help you to access this database if you select or if you give this server link to anyone, they can access this database. We are now making it public, but depending upon the organization choice or your choice, you can make it private as well. So in private only you will have the access, but in public endpoint, what you can do, the link that will be generated, if you share that link to me, I can access your database as well. It's just a practical that we are doing. If you want to go with private endpoint, you can select it. But private
Okay.
endpoint will be limited to you only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So we will make it yes and yes. We want to access the server and we want to access the IP address as well. Click on security. No need to change anything on security. No need to change anything here. Click on review plus create. Please check the cost again before creating this database. The cost must be in hundreds. It should not be in 1,000, right? Once it is review plus create, click on create. So we'll wait for this particular database to be deployed on the server. You can see the deployment is initialized. We'll wait for some time. Once it is deployed, deployment is in progress. I hope all of you are on this page. You are also in progress of deploying your database.
Actually,
If you
I'm
have any
unable
issues,
to find a server. Yeah, I'm facing
what,
an
ma'am?
issue in server point. When I'm clicking on select a server, nothing is shown there. No available item is there
Ma'am,
on the first
can you
page.
change? Can you change the zone?
Okay, I will try it.
Yes. Please, if you're not able to see anything in the server field, please try to change the zone.
Okay,
Choose
sir.
different
I will
zone.
do that. Yeah.
But everyone, please make sure that you use serverless compute tier. Do not use provision tier. Once your deployment is complete, please make sure you are sharing your screenshot to me in the chat. It's still going on for me. Anyone completed the deployment? Great. It's still in
पता नहीं
progress.
अब इतने आगे पहुंच गया कि इधर छूट गया वेंटिलेटर को समझ आपके में हो गया
Hello.
I request.
Sir, have a
अभी
doubt.
वो दे दीजिए
Backup
पोर्टल पे वो दे
storage.
देते
Yes, ma'am. Veda, ma'am.
Sir, backup storage redundancy. What we have to use, sir? Locally written backup storage or zone? What we supposed to use there?
Ma'am, you can select
Right now?
locally redundant. You can select zone as well. You can select geo as well. But right now, we don't want multiple copies of this database to be created on different servers. That is why we had selected locally redundant.
And what is the database storage we have to select here? Right now, general purpose serverless and standard series 32 GB, sir. How much we have to select that one? Or we need to configure the database?
Ma'am, you need to click on configure database. And in
Okay.
configure, when you click on configure database, you will get another tab. What it says provision and serverless.
Yes. Yes.
So you need to click on
So which one we have
serverless.
to?
Serverless.
Okay, it is there already. Okay. And then that's it.
That's it, ma'am. Serverless, scroll down and click on OK or apply the option.
Okay. Data maximum size is 32 GB. Is it fine, sir, or anything we
Yes,
have to
no,
make it
ma'am.
less?
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
My deployment is still in progress. Any faculty whose deployment is completed.
This firewall rules, what we have to keep generally, yes or no, sir? This one.
Ma'am, yes, on both.
Shashank,
I'm
sir,
done, sir.
can you repeat?
Connection
Meanwhile, it is deploying in progress, sir. Can you repeat the process again once? Can you go through the entire process?
Yeah.
Sir, I
It
need
is
to
in
go
progress.
back again. I need to create another database to show you. So I'll repeat the process again once let this deployment be completed.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Sir,
I'm
at
done,
this
Shashank, sir.
connection policy, so at this connection policy, is it okay fine with the default one or proxy or redirect anything?
And all the steps would remain the same. You don't need to change anything after doing the thing. You can directly click on review plus create.
Okay.
Sir, some of us deployment is complete, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can share multiple screenshots or shots are shared in the chat. Deployment is complete. Only mine is left. So we'll proceed ahead in some time when this deployment is complete.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Great. I can see all the participants are doing it.
Sir, it is storage cost is around 450 per month. Is it fine? That is?
Yes, ma'am. This is fine. Anything in 1,000 would be a worry,
Okay.
because as soon as my database is deployed, it will start incurring the cost.
Okay.
Okay, in the meantime, what I can explain, the local, okay, my deployment is complete. Yeah. So I can see most of the participants have shared the screenshot that their deployment is complete. So now once your deployment is complete, you can click on this go to resource. Click on this go to resource, and it will give you a general description about the database that you have created, right? The resource group, that in which resource group that this database is created, the location of this database, the subscription name, the server name, what is the server name, the pricing tier that we have selected. All the information will be available here, right? On the left hand side, on the left
Sir,
hand
I
side,
have a doubt.
yes, sir.
Sir, excuse me. Sir, here auto pass delay is 1 hour is there. Now, what is the need of that?
Ma'am, it will be updated with the time duration of 1 hour. The database would be reflected.
Like, could you please give me one simple example? What is the mean of that?
Ma'am, if you want to pause your data, suppose you have curated a database and you don't want your database to be effectively working, right? Right. So this automatically pause if your database is not in working for 1 hour, it will automatically get a pause. So this is the significance of having auto pause.
Okay.
If you're not working on your data, if your database is idle, then it will be on pause for 1 hour.
Okay. Then after, if we want to reuse, we have to do it again, restart it somewhat. We have to do it.
Restart. You need to restart it again.
Okay. So if until unless we were not using this one, so the charges will not be applicable, sir. Then
Yes.
how it
This
could
is
be
to
charged?
reduce
Like,
this is to reduce the charges. If you're not using it for 1 hour, it will automatically go into pause mode, and you will not be getting a cost for that 1 hour. So if suppose you have yes, ma'am.
rather than the 1 hour, can we minimize or increase that time period, or it is any fixed time period will be there,
It
like
is a
1
fixed
hour
time,
only?
ma'am. It is a fixed time, ma'am. This we have not fixed it. It is automatically 1 hour.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And you can, ma'am, there is an option. I need to figure it out. If you want to disable this option, auto pause, you can also do this. If you don't want your
Okay. Where
database
is
to be
that?
disabled at any time, I need to check it, ma'am. There are some things I need to check it where to give a pause on that.
No problem. Okay, no problem.
So our deployment is completed. Now we need to make some query. We need to create a table, right? My database is ready. So on the left hand side, you can see multiple fields are available, multiple tabs are available. There is one tab known as query editor. Query editor. Click on this query editor. It will give you a editor, query editor, where you can write your SQL queries, right? And once you click on this query editor, it will ask your authentication. So it will, your username will be there. You need to just provide your username, password. So I have written my password. This is the password. Click on OK. And when you click on this OK, you will land on this query editor. So the rectangle that you are seeing here, this rectangle would be a query editor. You can write down your queries. So I will give you a simple example. I will just create a table, right? And we'll make a connection then. Remaining things you can explore. You can create a database. You can do multiple. You can create multiple tables. You can do some operations. But during this period, because we have a limited time, we'll just do some basic exercise related to SQL, right? So I'll create a one table.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
Sir, query editor is not available in my search. Do I have to go to resource and then select query editor?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Once your deployment is
Go to
complete,
resource?
you need to click on go
Yes.
to resource.
Okay. Thank you.
So on go to resource page, on the left hand side, you will get this query editor.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. So
Sir, how you log in into this SQL database? Like with the login, SQL Server authentication or Microsoft Enter authentication? Which one we
ma'am,
have
with
to
the
use?
help of SQL authentication, it will come by default. You just need to provide the password. I just
Okay.
give
What
you
is the
an
difference
overview
between
again.
them? Is there any?
I just give you an overview again. If you click on this query editor, it will
Yeah.
be
Can
automatically
you please?
SQL Server authentication.
Okay. What is the difference between these two, sir? Could you please explain?
SQL authentication will be based upon the username and password that you will be providing at runtime. Otherwise, this Microsoft Entra authentication will be continued with your Outlook email ID. So Microsoft Entra authentication are not preferably with the this particular mode of authentication are not preferably used by people other than Microsoft. Microsoft people use this particular email ID because they have their authenticated Outlook email IDs, Microsoft accounts, so they use this. We are preferred to go with the
Okay.
SQL Server authentication.
Because companies will provide their professional mail IDs with them, they will do it, I think.
Yes. So we'll use this SQL Server authentication. We'll type the name. My username is there. I'll type the password test@1234. So I have entered into this query editor, and this rectangle box will be representing the query editor. You can write down some queries. You can create a table. I can put a simple command, create table student. The name of my table is student, right? And I will give simple fields, simple column names. Suppose student ID, student name, and student contact. Suppose I've created a simple table, right? So we have a database, and in database we are creating a table. The name of my table is student, and I am providing three fields to this particular table. First is student ID with the int data type. Second is student name with varchar data type, and third one is student contact with int data type. There is an option of to run this query. We can run this query, and once you run this query, it will say query succeeded. It will say query succeeded, right? So we have a table created. Now we want to insert some entries, right? We need to insert some entries. So to insert the entries, so this command is already executed. We can make it a comment. To make a comment in SQL, we use this hyphen. You can double hyphen it, and it will be on comment. We'll use the insert command, insert into the table name, student, and then values, right? Student ID, let's suppose the student ID is 123. The name of the student is ABC. and the student contact number is 987. This is the first command. Second entry is insert into the student values. The ID is 456. Name is PQR. And the contact number, let's give the contact number for 10 digits. 9999. This is the contact number. And the contact number for this is 88888. Right. So I've given the two entries. Let's run this query. And you will see query succeeded. Affected rows are 2. Means I have successfully inserted these two queries into the table. Now let's retrieve the information. Can anyone tell me what command do we use to retrieve the information from the table? If I want
Select
to
star.
print the select star. Yeah. Select star from student. Select star from student. If you run this query, you will get this student ID, student name, student contact 123 ABC 999 456 peak word 888. So this is the simple command that we have used. We have just curated a table. We have inserted two entries and we have retrieved the information. Now, the next thing is we want to make a connection of this SQL database with a local software installed in my system. So yesterday, Halvin had shared the list of 2-3 softwares with you in the chat and in the WhatsApp as well, that to pursue your training in this particular FDP, you need to have these software installed in your system. So I'll just give an overview. If anyone of you have not installed, what you can do, open a new tab and write download the server. The software that we will be using is SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio, SSMS. Right, download SQL Server Management Studio. Click on this and you will get the link on this Microsoft Learn website. Click on this. When you click on this, you will be directed on the official page of Microsoft Learning, and scroll down. You will get a direct link, free download for SQL Server Management Studio. So when you click on this software will be start getting downloaded. So I have this software already installed.
Can you please repeat the steps?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, now you're
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Okay, there was some internet disruption. So I was asking, you have, I hope all the faculty members have this SQL Server Management Studio installed in their system. Yes. Can I have the
No,
confirmation?
sir.
No, sir,
No,
not
sir.
yet. We are installing right.
Oh,
Yes, we have.
okay. I request all the participants to please download the software, because we already mentioned yesterday that we need to have the software installed in our system. There was PuTTY listed, there was
We
SQL
already done
Management
it.
Server listed.
And SSMS. Yeah, we done it.
Shashank, I have a request. Somebody is facing issue in accessing. So can you just show them that firewall setup?
I need to create the database again.
No, Shashank, somebody is not able to connect. So can you show them that set firewall option where they can add their IP? I think ma'am missed out the settings while creating.
Wait,
You can check the
I
chat.
just checked it. Wait. Yeah, I can see in the chat. You need You cannot open server requested by the login. Okay, ma'am, you need to add your IP. I guess you missed those steps where we had set the firewall rules. So, ma'am, what you can do, you can be on this page, on the overview page of this database, and there is an option of set server firewall. There is an option of set server firewall. You can click on this. Click on set server firewall, scroll down, and you need to click here. Add your client IPv4 address. Once you click on this, your IP address would be added and you will be able to access this database. I will not click on this, ma'am. I hope, ma'am.
Hello. Sir, could you please repeat the steps?
Okay. So I'm repeating the steps. Those who have missed the firewall setting steps, what you can do, you can go to your database. You can go to your database. This is the overview page of my database. And if you want to set your firewall rules, what you can do, there is an option of set server firewall on this overview page. On this overview page, click on this set server firewall. Click on this, scroll down, and there is an option of firewall rules. Here is an option of firewall rules. And you will get an option of plus add your client IPv4 address. There must be some IP address associated with your database. Click on this like this. You just need to click on this and save. Click on this and save. Then your firewall's rules will be set up. I hope the step is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, okay. So I hope this software is downloaded in your system. We can open the software SQL Server Management Studio. So once you open this SQL Server Management Studio,
Hello. Hi, am I audible?
yes, ma'am.
Actually, Shashank, I'm not able to insert values in the table. It says there is already an object named student in the database. So I don't know what exactly is going wrong. I've checked it's an integer and then a character string and then again an integer.
Ma'am, you need to make your the first command that you have written, create table student, you need to make it a comment.
Comment as in?
Comment as in, because see, if you are not making it as a comment, the command is getting repeated every time.
All right. So how do I
So
make
to
it
make
a comment?
To make a comment, what you can do, you can put wait, you can put this double this
All right.
hyphen sign.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I missed it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So once your SQL Server Management Studio is open, it will be open like this, and it will say connect to your server, right? So you remember when we had created a database, we had created a server as well. So how to get your server name? So go to your overview page, and there is a name, server name. My server name is Shashank server 123.database.windows.net. Copy this database name. I have copied it, and go to this window and paste it here. I have pasted it. Right. In the authentication, make sure you have this SQL Server authentication in place, because if you click on, by default, it might be Windows authentication available to you. But you need to change it. You need to click on drop down and click on SQL Server Management SQL Server Authentication, because at the time of creating this database, we had selected SQL Server Authentication. Give your username. What is the username? My username was, what is the username? If you have forgotten your username, you can click on this query editor and you can get your username. My username is Shashank Admin. So I'll write Shashank Admin, and I'll put the password that I had given, and I'll click on connect.
Sir, excuse me. While I'm installing the Microsoft SQL Server Management, I got some setup failed. How can resolve this fatal error during the installation? Some error I'm just facing.
So
Setup
MySQL
failed.
Server management software requires system to be restarted.
No, you have to restart.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes, it is done. After connecting your local software with the database, you will get these options on the right hand side. Your server name will be visible here. It is visible. Is it visible to you all? Yes.
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Okay. So if it is visible to you, you can see there are three tabs available here: databases, security, and integration service catalogs. We are intent to be focused. I request all the participants to please be on mute.
Sir, when I am trying to connect, it is showing the error. Cannot
What is the error,
connect to
sir?
the biomesh.server.database.windows.net.
Sir, can you?
Should I only write the name Windows Server?
No, sir. You need to copy the complete server name.
I copied it, sir.
You need to copy it completely.
I already copied it, sir. But it is showing the error.
And sir, what is the authentication method? It is SQL authenticated or Windows authenticated? It should be SQL authenticated, sir.
SQL Server authenticated?
Yes. And you need to put your username and the password.
Okay.
Firewall steps, what you can do in order to get your firewall's rules fixed. On this overview page, there is an option of set server firewall. Click on this, scroll down, and click on this add your client. In firewall rules, there is an option of add your client IPv4 address. Just click on this, it will automatically be add here. Just click on this and click on save. Right? This is my server authentication.
This we are supposed to do in case it is not working now, or it has to be done by
Yes.
everyone.
No. If it is not working, sir.
Okay.
If it is working fine, if it is connected, then we are good to go. Okay, so we were on the server and I was discussing.
Sir, after connecting, again I'm getting another error, and I have sent the screenshot with you in the chat box.
Sir, I just look into it. Helvin, can you please look into the screenshot? Yeah.
Yes, I'll do that.
So on this software, when your server is here, you need to click on this database, expand this database.
Hello.
Expand, ma'am. I'll take up the queries after finishing it. So what you need to do, you need to expand this database and expand this Shashank database. So your database, the database that we had created on the server will be visible to you. I had asked you to create the database with your name database. Expand this database. Once you expand this database, you will get multiple options here: database diagrams, tables, views, external resources, synonyms, programmability, and all the features like this. So you remember we had created one table as well. Please expand this tables field. The name of the table that we had created was student. So when you expand this, you can get here dbo.student. This is the same table that we had created on Azure portal. Right? This is the same table that we had created on Azure portal. Click on this table. So see, I have clicked on this table. dbo.student. I have selected this table, dbo.student. And after selecting this dbo.student, here on this upper part of this portion in the menu bar, you will get an option new query. So to open the editor on this particular software, because right now there is no editor available to me where I would write my SQL queries. So in order to open a query editor, what you can do, you can click on this new query. And as soon as you click on this new query, right, an editor will be opened on this screen. So what you can write, start writing some queries, because see, I have already selected the database. I've already selected a database. Now I want to retrieve the data. And to retrieve the data from this database, I know the command. The command is select star from student. Select star from student. Right, I just magnify it. Okay, I have written select star from student. I want to retrieve the information from this table. To execute this command, we have an option here. We have a button here, execute. Click on this execute, and you will get the output here below. So see the same output that we had inserted on the Azure portal: student ID, student name, student contact. Now let's find out if I add another entry here on this software, will it be reflecting on the Azure portal? Let's add some entries here. Let's make it a comment. I have made it a comment. I am entering insert into student values. I'm making a third entry, insert into student values. Let's suppose the ID is 1234. Let's suppose the name is XYZ. Let's suppose the contact name is 777. And execute this query. Run. You can see you will get an option, one row affected, means one row has been added to your table. Right. Let's go back to your cloud. Go back to your cloud. Now I am onto my cloud. Go back to your query editor. Open the query editor here. All of you, open the query editor. Log into your editor. I have provided the password. Click on OK and fetch the data. Fetch the data. Select star from student. Run. See, the entry that I have made on the local software is now reflecting on the Azure portal. All of you have done it. Are you doing it? All the faculty members.
We are doing it, sir. Give us some time. We're doing it.
Sir, I'm facing a problem with installing with Azure Data Studio, like here, Microsoft SQL Server Management. Setup
Yes,
is continuously failing. So what is the reason? May I know?
Ma'am, please try to change the
I have
network.
here
It may
one,
be due to the network error. Otherwise, it won't give any error in downloading.
one note is there, sir. Here, Microsoft OTPC driver 17 for SQL Server. A previous installation required a reboot of the machine for changes to take effect. To proceed, restart your computer and then run setup again. So, should I need to restart it again?
Lakshmi,
Ma'am, Ma'am, I think there would not be a requirement of restarting your system. You can try to switch your network and then please proceed with the download. There won't be any issue in downloading the software.
Network means,
Shashank, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is a basic doubt understanding. See, now we have got cloud. That's because of the subscription you have given, and we have got this local, yeah, SS management system. What's the whole
G.
point of creating a virtual machine? We had created a Azure virtual machine. How about we using that?
Ma'am, Azure virtual machine. See, ma'am, in our curriculum, we have defined some practicals related to a cloud. So the first practical was how we can create virtual machine with the help of Azure portal, right? And if you can
Yes.
improvise more on that, the improvisation would be how you can host your website on the virtual machines. This can be the improvisation that you can do with the help of virtual machine that you have created with the help of Azure platform,
So
right?
that's any of the
Because see,
day's activity of this.
most of the times when you are doing any development work, because see, ma'am, we have a system which is only limited to 16 GB of RAM or 8 GB of RAM. But if you are doing some heavy task and you require some additional computation power, you require a computer having 128 GB of memory, right? 64 GB of RAM, then we would be required those virtual machines to be go ahead, because we cannot have that configuration in our local system or in our machine that we are currently using. So this is the benefit of having a virtual machine that we have curated on the Azure portal.
So any activity where we will use our virtual machine, because we have installed it and we have not used it. So that's irony. You will tell
Ma'am,
us.
yes, ma'am, the same example that I have quoted, that you can host your
Yeah.
websites on the Azure portal and you can do more
Okay.
computation, ma'am, because we are not the most of the companies, though, the MNCs, they use those virtual machines to get their data running on those virtual machines, because they have a large amount of data, they require some more computation power. So we have just shared that how you can create a virtual machine on Azure portal. Remaining things
Okay.
depends upon our requirement. It was
Okay.
just a practical to deploy a virtual machine on the Azure platform.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, SQL Server Management Studio setup requires a restart, sir. Should I do it now?
Yes, ma'am. You can start, because I can see multiple queries here regarding the same, and
Yes, sir.
you
Yes, sir.
can restart the machine and try to open the SSMS.
Okay,
So
sir.
those who have done, can we have another activity on this portal? Can we create another table? We have created a table student. Can we create another table here? Employee table. Two activities I am giving to all of you. First activity is you can create another table employee, insert some queries and see if it is reflecting on the portal or not, Azure portal. The second query is you need to alter one table. You need to alter one table. I'll just give you a quick overview of both these experiments. It is a quite simple experiment. You all are aware about the SQL queries. You have your database ready. You have your all the things ready. Explore it. Explore it. I'm giving some basic examples. You can create a whole set of database here. Right. So let's create another table. Let's create a table on SSMS and reflect it on Azure portal. Create table employee. Let's just create on their portal. Okay, let's mhm. Create table employee. Let's take only two fields: employee ID, basic, employee name, varchar 255. That's it. Run the query. You will see command completion successfully. Right. Means I have created another table as well. Now in my database, there are two tables available. First is student, second is employee. On the left hand side, on the left hand side here, you can see only student table is visible. So we need to make it or get it refreshed. To refresh this, there is an option. All the participants, please be on mute.
Hello.
Okay, so I was saying that on the left hand side, only one table is appearing, only student table is visible. I want to make it update so that employee table is also visible. There is an option of refresh the page. Here you can see refresh. Click on this. Click on this. It's not already created. Let's enter some values. Yeah, you can see I have refreshed it, and the second table, which is employee table, is also visible. Right? Also visible. Let's start making some entries. I'll enter only one value, insert into employee values 123, and the name is Rohit, let's suppose. Let's run the query, and you can see one row affected, right? Go back to the cloud. Go back to the cloud. In the query editor, you can say select star from employee and run. And you will see employee ID is 123, employee name is Rohit, will be visible. On the left hand side, there is an option of table. So you can expand the table as well, and you will get two tables here, student table and employee table. Both the tables are available here. Right? dbo.employee, dbo.student. I hope all of you are doing it. What is the error in creating a table, sir? Veena ma'am?
Sir, I'm not able to create tables since long time. It is not showing me any option.
Okay. Okay, I'll take the queries now. I will be making you the presenter one by one, and we can take up the queries.
Hello. Sir, when I'm trying to use my SQL Studio and I'm using select a start from student, it is showing invalid name, even though on the left hand side it is showing the table name correctly.
Can you repeat, sir, the query?
When in the SQL Server Management software, I'm to use select.
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir. Your
Fine.
voice is breaking.
So it is showing.
Sir, we completely lost you in the middle.
Hello. Am I audible now?
You are audible, sir. But your voice is lagging in between.
Hello. Should I repeat?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm repeating again. So when I'm to run my query, select a start student. My dbo.student is showing at the left hand side.
Alvin, are you getting the question from Vyomesh, sir? Because I am getting a lot of.
No. Voice is breaking, sir. You can use the chat box, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, will you explain one more time how to create a table? I missed the class, sir, due to power failure. Otherwise, I will get the YouTube video, sir.
I just explain it again.
Okay, sir.
So, ma'am, your deployment is completed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yesterday itself I have completed, sir.
Okay, so once your deployment is complete for the database, you need to click on go to resource. And
Actually,
once you,
yesterday I have created resource, sir. That is the deployment,
ma'am,
no, sir?
yesterday we had worked on virtual machines, and today we had worked on database. In database, you will be required to add the queries. In virtual machine, we just had a demo of virtual machine.
I
You
have
need to
created
create a
only virtual
database.
machine, sir.
So,
I
ma'am, you
have
need
created
to,
only virtual machine, sir.
ma'am, you need to create the database as well. So we'll share the recording link in the evening.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, after that, can I able to create, sir? After seeing the video?
Sure, ma'am. Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Sir. Okay.
Okay, Vyomesh sir, can you check the name of the table? Is it completely a student or S is capital? It might be the error facing due to the name of the table.
The table and it is showing at the side also it is correct. Means in the studio when I used it, it is showing dbo.student only.
I am repeating it one more time. Some of the faculty members are asking from firewalls. So just a quick review. So once your deployment is ready, once your database is deployed, what you can do if you are getting the firewall error, what you can do, you can click on this set server firewall, click on it, go down, and you will get an option of firewall rules. In firewall rules, you can click on this add your client IP4 address. Just click on it, it will automatically be added, and click on save. So once this is done, go to the overview page again, overview page here, overview page again, right? Go to your database, and you need to click on this query. So now what we have done, our server is ready, our database is ready. Now we need to add the
Your
values.
screen is not visible. Your screen is not visible.
It is visible. It is visible. Check your connection, sir.
Sir, Vyumesh sir, it might be a lag at your end. Okay, so I was saying that our server is ready, our database is ready. We need to now insert the entries, and we will be using SQL. So what you can do, you can click on this query data preview, and it will ask you some authentication. So your login, your username will be there, your password will be required. So you can enter your password. This password would be the same that you have created at the time of creating the database. So once this is done, you will land in here. You can write some queries related to your database with the help of SQL language, right? You can create the table. You can do multiple operations that we generally do with the help of SQL, right? Once this is done, once your queries are done here. So for example, I had created two tables. First is employee, second is student. I can give you one simple command. I need to retrieve the data from student. So let's suppose this is the command, select star from student, and I have run this query. Now I give you an example. In employee table, we had only two things. First is employee ID and employee name. Now let's suppose I add one more column here in employee table. Let's alter the table. So the command is alter table. The name of the table is employee. The name of the table is employee. Add, let's employee age, and this is it. So I have added one more column, which is employee age. I have altered the table. So previously in employee table, we had only two columns. First column was employee ID, second column was employee name. I have entered another column which is employee age. Let's start adding the values. I have made it a comment. Insert into employee values. The employee ID suppose 234. The name is Rahul. And suppose the age is 30. Run this query. It says query succeeded. Let's retrieve the data. So to retrieve the data, we have select statement. Select star from employee and run this query. So we will get two queries, two values. First is Rohit, for Rohit, because for Rohit we have altered the table, and now for Rahul. So once this is done, we need to make a connection with the software which is installed in my local system, right? To make a connection, what we need to do, we need to copy this server name. We need to copy this server name. So server name is Shashank server 123.database.windows.net. In your case, the server name would be the name that you had given at the time of creating a database. Copy this server name and open SQL Server Management Studio. Open SQL Server Management Studio. Once you open this SQL Server Management Studio, it will ask you to provide the details which helps it to connect to a server. So it will say server name. So server name, you can give the server name that you have recently copied. In authentication, it should be SQL Server Authentication, because at the time of creating a database, you selected SQL Server Authentication. Login with the username and the password. So my password is this, and I have clicked on connect. So once you click, once your this software is connected with the server on Azure portal, on the left hand side you will see this server, and within this server you have a folder named as databases. Expand this database by clicking on this plus sign. You will see the plus sign here. Click on this plus sign. Right, there will be the name of your database. So the name of my database is Shashank database. Expand it. When you expand it, you will get another folder name as tables, because in database you create tables, and we had already created two tables. First table was student, second table was employee. So expand this table. Once you expand this table, you will get the name of your tables. First table is employee table, second is student. Select the table on which you want to work. I have selected employee table. To open the query editor here, because right now you can see there is no query editor available. To open the query editor, you need to click on this new query here. New query tab is available. Click on this. Once you click on this, you will see this query editor is opened, right? And you can start writing the command. So select star from employee. That's it. Execute it. You will get the output here. So this you need to do. Now you can interchangeably do the things. You can do the things on one platform, and you will see the things on other platform. This SQL database that we have used is an example of PaaS, platform as a service. Right now, if you have any query related to the implementation, please let me know. I have repeated the steps once again.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, just let me know from where I can take my server name, because my server name, the thing which I noted down, it is not accepting. But connecting it with the SQL.
Ma'am, you can take your server name when you are this Azure portal. Go to your database, go to the overview, and here is your server name. This is your server name.
Okay, from
You can
overview.
copy
Okay,
it.
fine. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a query, Shashank.
Yes, ma'am.
So when I'm doing it on SQL, it's giving me an error saying that select permission or the insert permission for employee is not there. It was denied. But when I'm doing it on Azure platform, it's happening. No errors. Everything is executing.
Yes,
But on
ma'am.
SQL,
Yeah. So on this portal, ma'am, when you want to perform some operation on employee table, on the left hand side, you need to select employee table.
yeah, it's
So once you
selected. I've checked it.
once you select it, then you can write the query.
Yeah, it's already selected. It's showing in shaded area dbo.employee. Even then, when I'm executing the commands, select or whatsoever, insert, it says it's denied.
Ma'am, can you refresh it once? To refresh, there is an
Yeah,
option
actually,
of
I closed
refresh.
it, reopened it again as well. So,
Ma'am, open the SSMS again, refresh the server here on this page on this software, and then you can start. If the problem still persists, please let me know.
yeah, I've done all of it. Actually, I closed it, the app entirely. I reopened it, checked everything, but it's still happening.
Shashank, what could
Yeah.
be the possible problem I have done here? It says that when I'm trying to connect to my network server, it says a network related or an instance specific error occurred while establishing a connection to SQL server. Is it? It says
Ma'am,
the
what is
network
the
path was not found.
ma'am on SSMS?
Yeah, SSMS. It took this long for me to open install, and then when I'm trying to connect to my server, it says that there is an error that occurred while
Ma'am, have
establishing
you
a
copied
connection.
the correct server name?
Yeah, yes, very much. Okay, I'll try once again. Otherwise, I'll get back in the afternoon.
Sure. So I can see there are 460 participants in the meeting now, and all of you
Hello.
have done the experiment.
Hello.
I hope you're doing it. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Hello, Shashank. Sorry to bothering you. Actually, I have missed the previous lecture due to some issues. But by following your this study material, I'm able to deploy the this server. But what's
Virtual
the
machine.
next step I have to do? First, yes, yeah, virtual machine. But now, what's the next step I have to do for that? Can you please explain?
Ma'am, this is the third practical that we are doing. So you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
discuss about virtual
just
machines or this SQL database?
Yeah, it's your deployment complete server, Microsoft storage. I'm on the step of this, how to create the SQL server that just create introduction to SQL as your database partner. Deployment of the server is completed. Now what's the next step?
Ma'am,
How can
after
I
your
go to the
deployment,
SQL?
yeah.
Is completed.
Hello, sir.
Deployment is completed.
Ma'am, Neelam, ma'am.
Deployment is
Sir, will you please repeat one more time the deployment of the database, sir?
Ma'am, I would be required to create the complete database again to show that deployment.
Hello. So deployment is complete from my side. Yes.
So,
So
ma'am,
what's next step?
yeah, Neelam, ma'am,
Yeah.
once your deployment is complete, you can come to this overview and click on this
Overview.
query
Yeah.
editor.
Okay.
Query editor. Come to this query editor.
Just a minute. Overview is not working. Sorry.
Ma'am, are you in your database? Are you in your database?
Yeah, I'm in database. Overview. Yeah. Next. Yes, sir. An overview.
And are you getting this query editor here? Option query editor.
Query editor.
Sir, are we done with today's topic? Can we leave now?
Ma'am, wait for 5 more minutes.
Sir, I'm not able to find out the query editor.
Okay. Ma'am, you please share the screenshot.
Yeah. I will share. Okay.
Any other faculty member who is facing an error, we can discuss the things.
Sir.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I have set up the firewall setting. Then also when I'm logging to my database, it showing an error.
Ma'am, what is the error?
Login something network error. Please give me time. I will do it again.
Ma'am, please select the correct server name, and at the time of making a connection, please make sure you have SQL authenticator in place, and write down your admin and username and password correctly.
Yes.
Hello,
Now
sir.
it's done. Then query
Hello.
editor directly create a table using a query and can do anything as you show.
Ma'am, you can create or you can perform the operations in query editor on Azure portal, and once your connection is established between the Azure portal and the SSMS, the same will be reflected on the SSMS, and you can interchangeably do the operations on both the platforms.
Okay, but create table query is not running in my SQL editor, query editor.
Ma'am, what is the error? Can you please share the screenshot?
Yes, sharing in within a minute.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sir, while opening SQL Studio, it's again and again showing the same message to restart and then run setup. I also deleted the setup and installed second time, sir.
Ma'am, it might be the version that you have installed for SSMS, or the SSMS is not properly installed. Can you please install one more time with the proper internet and then see whether it is correctly working or not? Because see, I have not seen any error coming in for SSMS. It's a simple software that we download and we connect it with the Azure portal.
I have to install it again third time, sir. Now.
Yes, ma'am, you need to. Yeah. Sasatan, are you there?
Yes, Shashank, I'm here.
Yeah, Sasatan, we are done with the technical things. You can proceed.
Okay. Okay. I also don't have much to discuss today, but yeah, a few announcement. But thank you so much, Shashank, for closing the day so early. So dear participant, I request all your attention for next 5 to 10 minutes, please. One is like I'm also getting some individual WhatsApp message saying like, sir, why are we repeating so many times? I'm wasting my time, etc., etc. I think we need to understand in two aspects. One is like, of course, people are also struggling to understand. They also need our support to explain it 2, 3 times. At the same time, we also need to understand the other participant. No, like time is like precious for all of us. Others also finding it like, why do I need to wait here? Because I already learned this. So just to have a like very balance of these two things, what we will do, we will have a query session separately, okay, from 2 o'clock to 2:45 every day. We will use the same link only. There is no different link. We will use the same link to have this query session, which will happen 2 to 2:45, so that like we will not repeat the steps every time. But of course, I'm not saying like we will do this session only once and we will not repeat any time. We will also repeat that if needed 1 or 2 times, but not like many times. For example, even now also I'm getting a message saying like, sir, how to register in LMS, which we discussed at least 10 times. If I'm again repeating it here, then it would like waste the other times also. So they may also find it like very difficult. So in that case, like it is not possible. So moving forward, what we will do, we will stick on the timing. From tomorrow on, we will start the session by 9:30, not on query taking the session, but the actual session. Please ensure you are joining on time. Again, there's a lot of questions are happening because like a lot of people are joining in between. So that is a major challenge. So please ensure, please respect each one of us time here and ensure like we are not wasting any other time. But again, I'm saying like I also understand the participant. It's not that easy to understand from the very beginning itself, right? If I say something in the beginning, it's not possible to understand immediately. So I also need to tell like 2-3 times. That we will definitely follow, but at the same time, I kindly request, let's don't ask like very basic questions in the meeting link itself, but definitely we will also solve your query. We will have a query session from 2 o'clock to 2:45. We will use the same link. There is no different link. We will use the same link to solve your queries. This is one. And second one is like we have uploaded the, I kindly request all of you to mute yourself. I can also do that. Yeah. Helvin, if you want, you can also stop the recording because this is going to be like very general discussion, not anything related to the sessions. And second update is like we have uploaded the